A lot of people made empty promises. From Shannon Alvarado to my dad to Miss Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo. That's the thing, is that these people didn't keep their word. I needed their help. I am a disabled American. But that doesn't matter, does it? What matters is that I'm not pretty. I'm not young. What matters is that you can call me names and it makes it okay to harm me. You call me mentally ill and it makes it okay for you to physically put your hands on me. It makes it okay for you to put drugs into me. It makes it okay for you to refuse to take a report from me. See, that's the thing. I had to document all of these things myself, and still the police wouldn't take a look. When you know that a disabled person is being abused, whether it's physical or mental, it doesn't matter. When you use the term mentally ill, you're just an asshole. And those of you who use the term mentally ill to describe yourselves, you're fucking retarded. It's disabled. The term mentally ill, every time you use that, it conjures images of Jeffrey Dahmer and Jack the Ripper, you fucking moron. And you know what? Every time you describe yourself as mentally ill, you're telling people that you're Jack the Ripper. You're telling people that you're Jeffrey Dahmer. You're telling people that you're going to go hurt them. That's propaganda. And you're reciprocating that propaganda because you're a fucking moron. You're disabled, not ill. If you had a flu in your brain, that's an illness. When you have problems connecting things together because you're overwhelmed, that's a disability. When your words don't come together right because you're overwhelmed, because people are pressuring you and threatening you and harassing you and belittling you and fucking assaulting you, that's overwhelming. That's neither a disability nor an illness. That's a reaction to abuse. It's fine as long as it's not happening to you. It's fine as long as it's not happening to you. How many times did I go over to Miss Peaches because she said she would help? She would take a look at the evidence. Quite a few. How many times did she actually take a look while I was over there? None, not one. She was busy playing games in her phone or telling me how to think and how to feel. But she kept on promising me that she would help how I needed. She never followed through. The one time that she pretended like she went in with me to the police, she didn't. I already knew it was too late in the day to even go. 4 o'clock in the evening is a little too late to be going and trying to make a police report. And they did something wrong. They said that I had to make an appointment. Every single officer has refused to allow me to write a report unless I'm in jail, in which case they're not going to look at it. I am overwhelmed because the ability for me to communicate requires someone in person who's listening. Shannon Alvarado wasn't going to listen. She was too busy being drunk. And she wants me to jump through and do all of these stupid human tricks in exchange for help that she's never going to follow through with. Then she wants to whine like a mule, and so does Rick, because I exposed what it is that I went through every fucking night there. Shannon saying, I'll help, I'll help, I'll help. And then her and Rick get into an argument for 4 hours. And then after that argument, I got to listen to her whining about Rick for 4 hours. So I've spent 8 hours of time that she was going to spend helping me. Maybe she wasn't going to spend that full 8 hours. Maybe she was only going to spend 15 minutes. But the fact is, I'm overwhelmed with all of the screaming in that fucking environment. And it is every single day. Now, albeit she only yelled at me twice, that's the 2 times that I confronted her where it got to the point that I had to confront her. Hey, you need to stop being abusive, Shannon. You need to just drop it. No, I don't. I'm stuck in that fucking environment. I need actual help. Instead, I'm dealing with people who are mentally ill, like Shannon Alvarado. Yes, alcoholism is considered a mental illness. Yeah, who knew? But I'm not allowed to speak. Meanwhile, there's people like Rihanna who promised to help me once I got there. See, we were going to help each other. But once I got there, the rules changed. Now I was in the subservient position, and she knew it. So I have to do as she says, or I have to leave. Meanwhile, I'm stranded in bumfuck fucking Wyoming. I don't have the money to leave. I don't have the gas to leave. And I needed her help. I invested my time and resources in going there for that help. But not just for that help. Also to help her with those kids. And she shouldn't have those kids. Those are not her kids. She should not be abusing those kids. Now the worst part is, I'm not allowed to defend myself. I'm not allowed to show what happened. It's her word versus the evidence, and the police did what they could to destroy the evidence and get rid of it. Why? Because I explained to those cops that I was going after bad cops. So what did the cops do? They stole my computer, claimed that I had admitted to crimes in Colorado. Well, with all due respect, I admitted to lighting a fire, and that court date was said and done. But those officers, the way that they treated me, prevented me from communicating effectively. But it's fine, because now that I can't communicate effectively, you can go ahead and twist it into whatever you want, even if it's not the truth. The fact is, those officers, every single officer, refused to write down that I was going after bad officers, that I was trying to make a report against bad officers. They can assault you and arrest you and take you to jail on false charges, and every officer does this, by the way. Every single cop. If they're not doing it themselves, they're watching other cops do it, or taking part in it when another cop does it. Officer Ramos did this frequently, but then you, even though you have been criminally violated, you have been assaulted by another human being. It's justified. It's magically okay because they have a fucking badge. Because they have a fucking gun. You give these people guns. And then you want to talk about how we should take guns away from civilians. You are more likely to get killed by a cop than you are by a civilian. Easily. When it comes to firearms. Unless it's suicide. But we need these cops' help because of the 1 in 14 million chance that you might get killed by a terrorist. 1 in 14 million. Yeah, imagine that. You fucking idiot. Meanwhile, I'm not allowed to be overwhelmed. Why? Because I'm a male. Because I have a penis. I was made homeless because Natalie was killed. The people who stole my money used that to justify their theft. It is because of that theft that I was unable to show up at court. Not that it mattered. I didn't have a lawyer. I didn't know how to collect evidence. I didn't know how to do any of that. I'd been asking for help with that for a whole fucking year. For the rest of my life, I will be subject to threats and harassment and abuse and not be able to see my loved ones because of it. Why? Because the police didn't want to do their fucking jobs. Because Natalie didn't want to put a stop to people harming me over things I didn't fucking do. Of course, the worst at all of them has got to be Rose M. Kelly. See, this is a druggy whore who put out to every homeless dude on the block. And then she hates homeless people. Fuck you, Rose. You're a piece of shit. And you're not the only piece of shit. Dannika Garner is a piece of shit too. So's Shelly Campbell. Fuck you. You fucking pieces of shit. You want to treat me like shit because you didn't keep your fucking word? You want to be pissed off that I said you didn't keep your fucking word? That's the point. If you wanted to help me, you should have either helped me or understood that this was public already. I'm going to make all of it public.